Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुप्रिये नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय। बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna, everyone.
कृष्णा निशा हरे कृष्णा रीना जी। तो हम लोग अध्याय 5 पढ़ रहे हैं। To send a message, so let me just send a message quickly. Cool. तो हम लोग 5th अध्याय पढ़ रहे हैं एंड कल हम लोग श्लोक 23 पढ़ रहे थे 7वें स्कंद का। और इसमें हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं कि प्रहलाद महाराज कैसे बचपन से ही विष्णु भगवान के भक्त हैं और सभी को वही मैसेज दे रहे हैं। एंड देन सो हिरण्यकशिपु उनको गुरुकुल में भेजते हैं। गुरुकुल में जो गुरु है वो शुक्राचार्य जी के पुत्र, राइट, शंड एंड अकर्म, 2 gurus for Prahlāda Maharaj. They try to divert him from Lord Vishnu's devotion, but are not successful, right? And जब हिरण्यकशिपु पूछते हैं प्रहलाद महाराज को कि what is the best thing you have learned in Gurukul, then प्रहलाद महाराज ये जवाब दे रहे हैं, right? That's what we are reading. So yesterday हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे श्री प्रहलाद वाच श्रवणम कीर्तनम विष्णु स्मरणम पादसेवनम अर्चनम वंदनम दास्यम सख्यम आत्मनिवेदनम इति पुंसार्पिता विष्णु भक्तिश्च नवलक्षणा क्रियेत भगवत्यदा तन्मने अधीतम उत्तमम. Prahlāda Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Yeah. So what Prahlāda Maharaj is saying, that what he has learned really is that the 9 methods of devotional service, yeah, it says here, Bhakti Nav Lakshana. Those 9 Lakshana, and what are those 9 methods? Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Ishmaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Sakhyam, and then Atma Nivedana. Yeah, those are the 9 ways of devotional service. Now Lakshana, and the one who has done this has the highest knowledge, says here Uttamam, yeah, the highest quality of knowledge. Yeah, and the most learned person is what Prahlāda Maharaj is saying. Right? So then we were reading the purport, and those nine devotional methods are described in more detail here. So we'll start here. Yeah, again from Shravanam, Anilji.
Number 1, Shravanam, hearing of the holy name of the Lord. Shravanam is the beginning of devotional service. Although any one of the 9 processes is sufficient, in chronological order, the hearing of the holy name of the Lord is the beginning. Indeed, it is essential as enunciated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is cleansed of the material conception of life, which is due to the dirty modes of material nature. When the dirt is cleansed from the core of one's heart, one can realize the form of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishvara Parama, Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Thus, by hearing the holy name of the Lord, one comes to the platform of understanding the personal form of the Lord. After realizing the Lord's form, one can realize the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and when one can understand his transcendental qualities, one can understand the Lord's associates. In this way, a devotee advances further and further toward complete understanding of the Lord as he awakens in realization of the Lord's holy name, transcendental form and qualities, his paraphernalia, and everything pertaining to him. Therefore, the chronological process is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. This same process of chronological understanding holds true in chanting and remembering. When the chanting of the holy name, form, qualities, and paraphernalia is heard from the mouth of a pure devotee, his hearing and chanting are very pleasing. Srila Sanatana Goswami has forbidden us to hear the chanting of an artificial devotee or non-devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and we hear chanting of Srila Prabhupada himself in the beginning, right? When we do the round of chanting. Ajay?
Hearing from the text of Srimad Bhagavatam is considered the most important process of hearing. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of transcendental chanting of holy name, and therefore the chanting and hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam are transcendentally full of mellows. The transcendental body name of the Lord may be heard and chanted according to the attractions of the devotee. One may chant the holy name of Lord Krishna, or one may chant the holy name of Lord Rama or Narasimhadev. Ramadi Murtisu Kala Niyaman Isthan. The Lord has innumerable forms and names, and devotees may meditate upon a particular form and chant the holy name according to his attraction. The best course is to hear the holy name form and so on from a pure devotee of the same standard as oneself. In other words, one who is attached to Krishna should chant and hear from other pure devotees who are also attached to Lord Krishna. The same principle applies for devotees attracted by Lord Rama, Lord Narasimha, and other forms of the Lord. Because Krishna is the ultimate form of Lord Krishna to Bhagwan Swayam, it is best to hear from Lord Krishna's name, form, and pastime from a realized devotee who is particularly attracted by the form of Lord Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, great devotees like Sukdev Goswami have specifically described Lord Krishna's holy name, form, and qualities. Unless one hears about the holy name, form, and qualities of the Lord, one cannot clearly understand the other processes of devotional service. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that one chant the holy name of Krishna, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. If one is fortunate enough to hear from the mouth of realized devotees, he is very easily successful on the path of devotional service. Therefore, hearing of the holy name, form, and qualities of Lord is essential. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So that's the Shravanam being described. And what is important part mentioned here is that the hearing from the text of Srimad Bhagavatam Yeah, so the first is the chanting, hearing the chanting, hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then hearing from the text of Srimad Bhagavatam is considered the most important process of hearing. Yeah. And we are all together, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, shloks, translations, right? And it says here Srimad Bhagavatam is full of transcendental chanting of the holy name. And as we have seen again and again and again, right, in different forms, like Vishnu Bhagwan's stuti done by like Lord Bhishma Pitamaha, right? Then Kunti, Mother Kunti. We have seen Lord Brahmaji's stuti of Lord Govind. We have seen even Lord Shiva's stutis, Pracheta's stuti, right? And even in this scan, we have seen so many stutis of Lord Vishnu, right? By Devatas and everyone. Everywhere, every time we move on, and you see the stuti, like right now we are reading about Bhakt Prahlāda. So we are going to soon see how Bhakt Prahlāda's stuti to Lord Vishnu as well, right? So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is one of the most important process. Is also mentioned here, right? Rinaji?
In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.11, there is this verse. Tad vag visargo janatag viplavo yasmin prati shlokam abadhavati api namani anantasya yaso nikitani yat srinuvanti gayanti grananti sadhavaha. Verses describe the name, form, and qualities of Anantadev, the unlimited Supreme Lord, are able to vanquish all the sinful reactions of the entire world. Therefore, even if such verses are improperly composed, devotees hear them, describe them, and accept them as bona fide and authorized. In this connection, Sridhar Swami has remarked that a pure devotee takes advantage of another pure devotee by trying to hear from him about the holy name, form, and qualities of the Lord. If there is no such opportunity, he alone chants and hears the Lord's holy name. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Shravanam has been described like this. Yeah, it's one of the most important process. Hare Krishna, Tarun.
Hare Krishna, Gayan.
No.
Kirtanam, the hearing of the holy name, has been described above. Now let us try to understand the chanting of the holy name, which is the second item in the consecutive order. It is recommended that such chanting be performed very loudly. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni says that without shame, he began traveling all over the world, chanting the holy name of the Lord. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised, Trinad api sunichena taror api sahisnuna amanina nina manadena kirtaniya sada hari. A devotee can very peacefully chant the holy name of the Lord by behaving more humbly than the grass, being tolerant like a tree and offering respects to everyone without expecting honor from anyone else. Such qualifications make it easier to chant the holy name of the Lord. The process of transcendental chanting can be easily performed by anyone, even if one is physically unfit, classified lower than the others, devoid of material qualifications, or not at all elevated in terms of pious activities. The chanting of the holy name is beneficial. An aristocratic birth and advanced education, beautiful bodily features, wealth, and similar results of pious activities are all unnecessary for advancement in spiritual life. For one can very easily advance simply by chanting the holy name. It is understood from the authoritative source of Vedic literature that especially in this age, Kali Yuga, people are generally short-living, extremely bad in their habits, and inclined to accept methods of devotional service that are not bona fide. Moreover, they are always disturbed by material conditions, and they are mostly unfortunate. Under the circumstances, the performance of other processes such as yagna, dana, tapa, and kriya, sacrifices, charity, and so on, are not at all possible. Therefore, it is recommended. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So in the Kali Yuga, people are generally short living, right? And so in the Kali Yuga, what is recommended is here, Nisha. Nisha, unmute.
Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Nameva Kevalam. Kalau naste eva, gatir anyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one advances perfectly in spiritual life. This is the best process for success in life. In other ages, the chanting of the holy name is equally powerful, but especially in this age, Kali Yuga, it is most powerful. Kirtanand eva kranasya mukta sangaha param rajet. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one is liberated and returns home back to Godhead. Therefore, even if one is able to perform other processes of devotional service, one must adopt the chanting of the holy name as the principal method of advancing in spiritual life. Yajane sankirtana prayer yajanti hi sumedhasah. Those who are very sharp in their intelligence should adopt this process by chanting the holy names of the Lord. One should not, however, manufacture different types of chanting. One should adhere seriously to the chanting of the holy name as recommended in the scriptures. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So what is being mentioned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Kevalam. Yeah. In this age of Kali Yuga, yeah, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, it is most powerful to chant the holy name. Yeah. Which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And it's being mentioned here that simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, right? Even if you are not performing all these other things, which are not that much possible in this book, in this Kali Yuga, right? It says here, Yajna, Dan, Tap, Kriya, right? All these are not that much possible. So, but simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, and in the previous paragraph, it was also mentioned that one doesn't have to be wealthy, one doesn't have to be beautiful, and so on and so forth to chant the name. And chanting the by holy name of Krishna, one is liberated, which is the highest perfection of life, and returns home. Yeah, so that's what is mentioned here. Right? Hare Krishna, Prem.
Hare Krishna. It is recommended that even if one commits offenses, one should continue chanting the holy name. In other words, the chanting of the holy name makes one offenseless. In the book Nama Kumudu Kadumi, it is recommended that if one is an offender at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, he should submit to that Vaishnava and be excused. Similarly, if one is an offender in the chanting of the holy name, he should submit to the holy name and thus be freed from his offenses. In this connection, there is a following statement spoken by Daksh to Lord Shiva. I did not know the glories of your personality, and therefore I committed an offense at your lotus feet in the open assembly. You are so kind, however, that you did not accept my offense. Instead, when I was falling down because of accusing you, you saved me by your merciful glance. You are most great. Kindly excuse me and be satisfied with your own exalted qualities. One should be very humble and meek to offer one's desires and chant prayers composed in glorification of the holy name, such as Ai Mukta Kuler Upasya Manam and Nivit Tarsair Upgam Gayam Manad. One should chant such prayers to become free from offenses at the lotus feet of the holy name. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So, says that even if one commits offenses, one should continue chanting the holy name. Yeah. And what is committing the offense? Like every time when we are chanting the Mahamantra or any mantra, our attention will go somewhere else. Sometimes, we probably are eating something and things like that, right? Those are all offenses. But that's why it's also recommended that every time we start chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we also take blessings of Panchatattva, right? Which is Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gaur and the Panchatattva. We do that so that our offenses are pardoned, because it's not very easy to control the mind, right, and intelligence. So, but at least we try to make sure that we are chanting the holy name offenseless, right? But even if that happens, what is being mentioned is that, you should just submit to Vaishnava and be excused, right? Or should continue to chant, and that should also free you from offenses, is what is being mentioned here, right? So far we have seen two ways of doing devotional service. Which are those two we have seen so far?
Shravan and Kirtan.
Yeah, Shravanam, hearing, and then Kirtanam, right? Chanting. And the third one is Smaranam, right? Remembering. Hare Krishna, Jyoti.
Hare Krishna.
You read?
Okay. Smaranam, after one regularly performs the process of hearing and chanting, and after the core of one's heart is cleansed, Smaranam remembering is recommended. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami tells King Parikshit, Etam Nirvidyanam Ichatham Akuto Dhalam Yogina Urpa Niranita Hare Namanukritana. O King, for great yogis who are completely renounced all material connections, for those who desire all material enjoyment, and for those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord is recommended. According to different relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are varieties of Namanukirtan, chanting of the holy name, and thus, according to different relationships and mellows, there are 5 kinds of remembering. These are as follows: conducting research into the worship of a particular form of the Lord, concentrating the mind on one subject, and withdrawing the mind's activities of thinking, feeling, and living from all other subjects, concentrating upon a particular form of the Lord. This is called meditation. Concentrating one's mind continuously on the form of the Lord. This is called Dhruvanamshmariti, or perfect meditation, and awakening or lightening for concentration upon a particular form. This is called Samadhi or trance. Mental concentration upon particular pastimes of the Lord in particular circumstances is also called remembrance. Therefore, Samadhi trance can be possible in 5 different ways in terms of one's relationship. Specifically, the trance of devotees on the stage of neutrality is called mental concentration. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Shmaranam, Kirtanam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Shmaranam. Yeah. So we saw 3 ways of devotional service. The 4th is Pad Sevanam. Yeah. Anilji?
Yeah. Pada Sevanam, according to one's taste and strength, hearing, chanting, and remembrance may be followed by Pada Sevanam. One obtains the perfection of remembering when one constantly thinks of the lotus feet of the Lord. Being intensely attached to thinking of the Lord's lotus feet is called Pad Sevanam. When one is particularly adherent to the process of Pad Sevanam, this process gradually includes other processes, such as seeing the form of the Lord, touching the form of the Lord, circumambulating the form or temple of the Lord, visiting such places as Jagannath Puri, Dwarka, and Mathura to see the Lord's form, and bathing in the Ganges or Yamuna. Bathing in the Ganges and serving a pure Vaishnava are also known as Tadiya Upasanam. This is also Pad Sevanam. The word Tadiya means in relationship with the Lord. Service to the Vaishnavas, Tulsi, Ganges, and Yamuna are included in Pad Sevanam. All these processes of Pad Sevanam help one advance in his spiritual life very quickly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So we Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and Pad Sevanam. Yeah. Is the lotus feet of the Lord. And then the fifth is Archana. Ajay?
After Pad Sevanam comes the process of Archanam, worship of the deity. If one is interested in the process of Archanam, one must positively take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and learn the process from him. There are many books for Archana, especially Narad Pancharatra. In this case, the Pancharatra system is particularly recommended for Archana, deity worship. There are two systems of Archana, the Bhagavat system and the Pancharkriti system. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is also recommendation of Panchariki worship, because in this Kali Yuga, even without deity worship, everything can be perfectly performed simply through hearing, chanting, remembering, and worship of the lotus feet of Lord. Rupa Goswami states, Sri Vishnu Shravane Pratikshid Abhavad Vaiyasaki Kirtane Prahlāda Smarne Tad Angri Bhajane Lakshmat Pujane Akuraz Tav Abhivandane Kapipatir Dase Ha Sakhiye Arjuna Sarva Savatma Nividane Balir Abhut Krishnaptir Isamparam. Parikshit Maharaj attained salvation simply by hearing, and Sukdev Goswami attained salvation simply by chanting. Prahlāda Maharaj attained salvation by remembering the Lord. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, attained perfection by worshipping Lord's lotus feet. Prithu Maharaj attained salvation by worshipping the deity of the Lord. Akur attained salvation by offering prayers, Hanuman by rendering service, Arjun by establishing friendship with the Lord, and Bali Maharaj by offering everything to the service of the Lord. All these great devotees served the Lord according to a particular process, but every one of them attained salvation and became eligible to return home back to Godhead. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So this is very, very important. Right here, we should remember this, right? All these 9 devotional services, there are examples given, right? So first is Shavanam. And it's mentioned that Parikshit Maharaj attained salvation simply by hearing. What was he hearing?
Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam, right? What we are reading right now is Srimad Bhagavatam. And who was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj?
Sukdev Goswami.
Sukdev Goswami ji, yeah. So Parikshit Maharaj is Shravanam. Then Sukdev Goswami ji attained salvation simply by chanting. Yeah. So that's Kirtanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Then Prahlāda Maharaj attained salvation by remembering the Lord. Yeah, Vishnu Smaranam. Prahlāda Maharaj constantly remembered the Lord, always continuously. Right? Then the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, attained perfection by worshipping the Lord's lotus feet. Right? So if you will see, Lord Vishnu and goddess Lakshmi is always serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Right? And then so that's Pad Sevanam, serving the lotus feet of the Lord. And then Prithu Maharaj attained salvation by worshipping the deity of the Lord, right? If you remember, we read about Prithu Maharaj in one of the previous skans. He attained salvation by worshipping the deity of the Lord, right? Archana. That's called Archana. Right? In the temple, we have the deities. And the temple, because the Pran Pratishtha is done, that's why they are not just like some statues, right? Their Pran Pratishtha is done, they are called deities, and they represent the actual form of the Lord, right? So we are not able to personally just go and see the Lord anywhere, right? We can see him everywhere, right? But in general, we go and do the darshan in the temple because the Pran Pratishtha is done and daily prayers and everything is done there in the temple. So the other one is Archanam. And then he says, Akrur attains salvation by offering prayers. Yeah. So Archanam, and then what is mentioned here? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Shmaram, Padsevanam, so forth. Archanam, and then Vandanam. So Vandanam is offering the prayers. That's what Akrur is described there. And then we have Dashyam, Sakyam, and Atmanivedanam. Right? So three more. Yeah. So Akrur attains salvation by offering prayers. That is Vandanam. Yeah. And then Hanumanji by rendering service. We all know Lord Hanuman's devotion to Lord Ram. That is Dashyam. Right? So that form is Dashyam. And then Arjun by establishing friendship with Lord Shri Krishna. Yeah? So that is Sakyam, being friend of Lord Krishna. And then Bali Maharaj by offering everything to the service of the Lord. And that's called Atma Nivedanam. Yeah, so Atma Nivedanam is you offer everything you have with mind, with body, yeah, and intelligence. Everything you have, you offer to the service of the Lord. That's what Bali Maharaj was, right? And so that's how the examples are given of all these 9 different ways of devotional services. Yeah. So we'll remember those 9 names now. Yeah. So we'll talk about that again and again. We should remember those 9 names, right? Parikshit Maharaj, Shavanam, Kirtanam by Sukhdev Goswami ji. Yeah. Then Vishnu Shmaranam by Prahlāda Maharaj. Then Pad Sevanam by Goddess of Fortune, Lakshmi ji, Lakshmi Devi, right? Then Prithu Maharaj Archanam, attaining salvation by worshipping the deities of the Lord. Then Akrur attains salvation by offering prayers. That's Vandanam. Yeah. Then Dashyam, of course, Hanumanji, we always remember. Then Sakyam is Arjun by establishing friendship with the Lord. And then Atma Nivedanam, giving everything in the service of the Lord, is Bali Maharaj. Yeah. All these great devotees serve the Lord according to a particular process. But every one of them attained salvation and became eligible to return home back to Godhead. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So we'll continue reading this. Rinaji.
Therefore, recommended that initiated devotees follow the principles of Narad Pancharatra by worshipping the deity in the temple, especially for householder devotees who are opulent in material possessions. The path of deity worship is strongly recommended. An opulent householder devotee who does not engage his hard-earned money in the service of the Lord is called a miser. One should not engage paid brahmanas to worship the deity. If one does not personally worship the deity but engages paid servants instead, he is considered lazy and his worship of the deity is called artificial. An opulent householder can collect luxurious paraphernalia for deity worship, and consequently for the householder devotees, the worship of the deity is compulsory. In our Krishna consciousness movement, there are brahmacharis, grihasthas, vanaprasthas, and sannyasis. But the deity worship in the temple should be performed especially by the householders. The brahmacharis can go with the sannyasis to preach, and the vanaprasthas should prepare themselves for the next status of renounced life, sannyas. Grihast devotees, however, are generally engaged in material activities, and therefore, if they do not take the deity worship, their falling down is positively assured. Deity worship means following the rules and regulations precisely. That will keep one steady in devotional service. Generally, householders have children, and then the wives of the householders should be engaged in caring for the children, just as women acting as teachers care for the children in a nursery school. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Nisha?
Grihastha devotees must adopt the Archana Vidhi or deity worship according to the suitable arrangements and directions given by the spiritual master. Regarding those unable to take to the deity worship in the temple, there is the following statement in Agni Purana. Any householder devotee circumstantially unable to worship the deity must at least see the deity worship, and in this way he may achieve success also. The special purpose of the deity worship is to keep oneself always pure and clean. Grihastha devotees should be actual examples of cleanliness. Deity worship should be continued along with hearing and chanting. Therefore, every mantra is preceded by the word Namaha. In all the mantras, there are specific potentials of which the Grihastha devotees must take advantage. There are many mantras preceded by the word Namaha, but if one chants the holy name of the Lord, he receives the result of chanting Namaha many times. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can reach the platform of love of Godhead. One might ask that what is the necessity of being initiated? The answer is that even though the chanting of the holy name is sufficient to enable one to progress in spiritual life to the standard of love of Godhead, one is nonetheless susceptible to contamination because of possessing a material body. Consequently, special stress is given to the Archana Vidhi. One should therefore regularly take advantage of both Bhagavad process and Panchakriti process. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. And this one should read this. It's a lot of details are given there. Yeah, but can just continuing this, Tarun.
If one commits any of the above offenses, one must read at least one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This is confirmed in the Skanda Purana, Avanti Khanda. Similarly, there is another injunction stating that one who reads the 1,000 names of Vishnu can be released from all offenses. In the same Skanda Purana, Reva Khanda, it is said that one who recites prayers to Tulsi or sows a Tulsi seed is also freed from all offenses. Similarly, one who worships the Salagrama Shila can also be relieved of offenses. In the Brahmananda Purana, it is said that one who worships Lord Vishnu, whose 4 hands bear a conch shell, disc, lotus flower, and club, can be relieved from the above offenses. In the Adi Varaha Purana, it is said that a worshipper who has committed offenses may fast for 1 day at the holy place known as Sokarva and then bathe in the Ganges. In the process of worshipping the deity, it is sometimes enjoined that one worship the deity within the mind. In the Padma Purana, Uttarakhanda, it is said all persons can generally worship within the mind. The Gautamaya Tantra states, for a sannyasi who has no home, worship of the deity within the mind is recommended. In the Narada Pancharatra, it is stated by Lord Narayana that worship of the deity within the mind is called Manas Puja. One can become free from the 4 miseries by this method. Sometimes worship from the mind can be independently executed according to the instruction of Avirhotra Muni, one of the Nava Yogendras, as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. One may worship the deity by chanting all the mantras. 8 kinds of deities are mentioned in the Shastras, and the mental deity is one of them. In this regard, the following description is given in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So from all different Purans, different methodology is given. But important part is, even if the offenses are committed, there are so many remedies given, right? Like in the Skanda Puran, who recites prayers to Tulsi, right? Like we do the Tulsi prayer, or even if we do a Tulsi seed, yeah, is freed from all offenses. Of course, worshipping Shaligram Shila, and then worshipping Lord Vishnu himself directly, right? All this can be doing Vishnu Sahasranam, can be relieved from all these offenses, is what is mentioned. Yeah, Prem sir.
In the city of Pratishtanapura, long ago, there resided a Brahmana who was poverty-stricken but innocent and not dissatisfied. One day he heard a discourse in an assembly of Brahmanas concerning how to worship the deity in the temple. In that meeting, he also heard that the deity may be worshipped within the mind. After this incident, the Brahmana, having bathed in the Godavari river, began mentally worshipping the deity. He would wash the temple within his mind, and then in his imagination he would bring water from all the sacred rivers in the golden and silver water pots. He collected all kinds of valuable paraphernalia for worship, and he worshipped the deity very gorgeously, beginning from bathing the deity and ending with offering arti. Thus he felt great happiness. After many years had passed in this way, one day within his mind he cooked nice sweet rice with ghee to worship the deity. He placed the sweet rice on a golden dish and offered it to Lord Krishna. But he felt that the sweet rice was very hot, and therefore he touched it with his finger. He immediately felt that his finger had been burned by the hot sweet rice, and thus he began to lament. While the Brahmana was in pain, Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha began smiling, and the goddess of fortune inquired from the Lord why he was smiling. Lord Vishnu then ordered his associates to bring the Brahmana to Vaikuntha. Thus the Brahmana attained the liberation of Samipya, the facility of living near the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So this is how the Manas Puja is described. And the other form is Vandanam. Yeah. So that's Archanam and then Vandanam. Jyoti.
Vandanam. Although prayers are part of deity worship, they may be considered separately like the other items such as hearing and chanting, and therefore separate statements are given here. The Lord has unlimited transcendental qualities and opulences, and one who feels influenced by the Lord's qualities in various activities offers prayers to the Lord. In this way, he becomes successful. In this connection, the following are some of the offenses to be avoided: to offer obeisances on one hand, to offer obeisances with one's body covered, to show one's back to the deity, to offer obeisances on the left side of the deity, to offer obeisances very near the deity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So even the method is prescribed for how do we do the Vandanam, right? Like how do we do the Vandanam without committing offenses. So I guess we'll pause here since we're already 10:30, and we'll continue reading the other remaining qualities, other remaining process of bhakti, right? Like Dashyam, Sakyam, and Atmanivedana. And Vandanam, what is the example of who got salvation by doing Vandanam? Yeah, that's
Hanumanji.
No, that was Dashyam.
Hanumanji is Dashyam.
Vandanam would be
Akrur.
Akrur.
Akrur, right? So Akrur, yeah, got salvation by doing Vandanam. And so tomorrow we'll talk about all again. So remember, yeah. So we'll pause here and we'll continue reading from here, the other methods. And since we have been reading about the deities and Archanam, we are going to do a live darshan of Mangala Arti, live darshan from ISKCON Vrindavan. Yeah. for 5 minutes. We'll sit for 5 minutes. Yeah?
Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Right, so nice darshan live from Vrindavan. Think. So this is like Shaunam, Kirtanam, Vandanam, Archanam. Right? I will continue reading this tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.